Hello everyone, welcome to Prep 3 second term curriculum. As we can remember from the first term, the purpose from using the Visual Basic.NET is to create a web application or Windows application. And we started with drawing the flow chart. This is the diagram to create a form. As we can see, this simple form shows to us the sum of two numbers. These two numbers represented a letter A and letter P, and we do the progress here to sum these two numbers to find the result in the label C, and this label as the following letter C. So this is the main whole from using the Visual Basic is to create a form like that. And also another example, this one from your booklets. These are information about the users that I required, or the form required from the user to enter. This form contains labels, as we can see, and text boxes. To enter the information here, I have to mention or to seek the label that represent the data that should be entered by the user. For example, this label shows name, so the only data should be entered here is a text like that. And also this label shows a date of birth, so the only data should be entered here is a date. And the third label is the type of gender, so I have to select, the users have to select only one choice from these two choices. As we said before, from the property window, radio button, so choose only one or select only one. This label represent the number of family members, that represents a numeric value, so the user should only write or enter a number here inside this text box, because it's related to the label that shows the number of the family members. So each label has a specific data that the user should enter in each text box like that. To know more about the data types, let's classify them together to understand more about the data types, because it is so important when I'm writing the code inside the Visual Basic.NET. The first data type is numeric, the second is character data type, and the third is miscellaneous data type. Numerical data types consists of two parts or two types: integer and non-integer. Integer consists of byte, short, integer, long. Let's understand each one. Once again, these are the data type that the form provides to the user to enter inside each object, like text box. The byte here has a range that starts from 0 to 255. This is the only valid value should be entered inside the object. By using this data type, the program determined to the user to only enter till number 255. Okay, if the user entered 260 or 256, so it will be invalid. So the user has to only enter this value. If the form of the programming language selected byte inside the numerical data types. Okay, let's see the other one. The other one is short. Short here provide the type of data types for the numbers, but from number 1 to number 7 to 1 digit till 7 digits. So the user should only enter maximum 7 digits, not more. If the user enter from 1 to 8, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and more, so it will be invalid. So the maximum digits should be entered inside this object from the user till till 7 digits. Okay, what about the integer? The integer the same but longer, like from 1 to 9 digits. And the long type of integer numerical data types, the user can use from 1 digit till about 15 digits. So these are the digits should the user enter related to each data type. Like short, you have maximum 7 digits. Integer, you have maximum 9 digits. Long, you have to enter maximum 15 digits. What about the non-integer? As we can see, these numbers, they are whole numbers, but the non-integer, they are fraction or decimal. So I will deal with them, but after the decimal point, like that. The single non-integer data types, so I have to the user only should enter from 1 digit till 7 digit, but after the decimal point, because they are decimal or non-integer. The double, so the the user should enter from 1 digit till 9 digit, about 9 digit. These are the only available digits, so should be entered by the user. The decimal the user should only use these numbers from 1 till about 15 digit, but after the decimal points, because they are non-integer data types. What about the second data type? Is character data type. So here the program allows the user to use what about the string? String provides a text like a name, address. So this another type of data that the user can enter inside an object in the text box. And the character refers to character, and these are the information, the secret information that can be shown as stars. So we use it like a password. The third data type is miscellaneous data types, like others, like object, like an image or a picture that can be entered by the user. A date can be entered by the user. A boolean, as we said, true or false. Select one choice from many choices. So once again, let's take a look about the data types. Number 1 is numerical, number 2 character data type, and the third one is miscellaneous data types. Numerical consists of integer numbers, so they are all whole numbers, but they are different types. Like the byte, I have the maximum value till 255. The short till 7 digits. I can enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 only. Stop, not more. The same for integer, from 1 digit to 9 digits. Long till 15 digits. And about the non-integer, so they are the same, but after the dot that refers to the decimal point in the non-integer numbers. The second one is the character data types. String refers to the text like name or address. The or characters here like stars to hide the data, or secret data like password. The third one is miscellaneous data like object, like image or pictures, the date, and boolean. These are the data types that we have to understand carefully to write the coding inside the Visual Basic.NET. We have to understand that the difference between variables and constant. Variables and constant. Variables are unknown values that entered by the user. Like a value assigned to variables can be changed, and it is changed. It is not fixed. Like the value of a, it can be changed if I edit or make another many equations like that. So the variables are reserved places in computer memory, and they are located in the computer memory. It is RAM. So we can declare them. So they are declared and determined by its name and types. This is the data type that we studied, and it is value usually can be changed. So the value is changed during the running time of the program. The constant is the same, but they are different in one point. Let's see. They are placed places reserved in the RAM that have the types. So on declaring them by the name on the data types and determined by them, they take fixed value and do not change during the progressing or the program. So this is the only difference between the variable, that they are changes during the running of the program, but the constant, they are fixed value and do not change during the progresses of the program. Like the area of the pie, it is fixed value. Also did another example to show what is a variable value. Here this is the question. I don't know the number will be entered here by the user. It may be 5, 6, 8 and so on. So once I put the number, the result will be changed related to the number that entered before by the user. So it is unknown variable or unknown value, so it is variable. So it is changed. It is not fixed value. So we have to understand the naming rules of the constant and the variables. How can we put the right names? Because it has rules. The variable names must begin with a letter, and also I can put underscore, but we have to start with a letter. The variable names shouldn't contain symbols like star or plus or question mark. These characters or special characters or symbols shouldn't be contained in our variable names. Okay. Also, don't use reserved words of the Visual Basic Net language keywords such as single, them, as, because they are already used inside the coding, so they shouldn't be contained inside the variable names. To do not be repeated, it is not correct to use them. About the constant, we start the coding of the constant with the word const. Use the word const in the declaration of the constants in the language of the Visual Basic.net. So they are the naming rules of the constant and the variables to give the right name for the variable and the constant to be organized and correct. Here are examples to the constant and the variables declaration. How can we write them inside the coding? For example, the constant here, as we said, it is a fixed value. So the constant word is for declaration, the comment about the constant. And then we have the constant name. This is the constant name. And after the word as, here we have the data type. The data type here is text, because we said string is one of data types that refers to a text. As we can see, after the word after the sign equal, so I have the value here. My value is a text because my data type is string. The text here is جمهورية مصر العربية. By the way, the text I should put it between two quotations as the following, as this one. So this is the value of the constant, which is string as a data type to write the text. So another example is to write the area of the pie. It is constant because it has a fixed value. So the constant here, to declare the comment about the constant after the word as, this is the data type is single. After the sign equal, I have here the fixed value that I have that the user have to enter. The last one for constant examples is the constant to declare, as we said, for the constant, and here the constant name is birth date. After the word as, I put, or we should put the data type of this one is a date. After the sign equal, we put the value that is date. We put the date between these two samples. Remember these small notes. The date should be written between these two samples. The text should be written between two texts. The number, nothing for the number. Okay, let's move to the variable. We start the variable with the word dim. So dim refers to the variable, or to declare for a variable. Then we put the variable name. Then after the word as, we can find we should put the data type. Then the value. But remember, in the constant we have the fixed value, so we have the equal sign. But in the variable we will not have this because it is unknown. We don't know the value of this. It is variable, except the date, because the date can be both variable and constant. So here in this one, for example, them. So this is declaration for the variable, and then the variable name, and after the word as, we put the data type. The data type here is string, so the variable should be given by the user is a text, but we'll know the value because it's a variable. Also this example, them, then to declare for the variable, then total price. This is the variable name, and this is the data type. Here it is single, as we said. And also the date, we declare for the data for the variable, and then we put the data type after the word as, and then here the date, as we said, can be variable and also can be constant. Thank you so much for listening to our lesson, or the first lesson today, and see you in the next lesson. Thank you.